In this video, I'm going to show you how to export LODs from Maya and bring them into Unreal and have them already set up for you, working perfectly and all that good stuff. So I like to follow a certain naming convention. I like to call my base model LOD 0, LOD 0. In this way, any copies that I make will be called LOD 1, LOD 2, etc., etc. So my first LOD, my base mesh, has 188 triangles. What I'm going to do is make a copy of it, which will automatically be called a LOD 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the resolution of this copy. So I'm going to take some of these edges and I'm going to start to collapse them, delete them, and basically make a medium resolution version of my object. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what LODs are, or maybe this is the first time you hear that term, in game development, most game engines, if not all of them, will actually switch between different LODs or different versions of the object you're looking at. So say, for example, you're looking at a tree in a forest that you're walking around in. You want the tree to be at the highest resolution, the highest number of polygons, when the player is standing right in front of it and looking at it, because you want it to look really good when the player's up close. Now if the player starts to get really far down a dirt path and they're kind of far away, they're not really going to be able to see the detail too well. So in this case, you want your second LOD to kick in. So the game engine will switch out the high resolution version, or the highest resolution version, usually called the base mesh, or LOD 0, and it's going to switch it out for a medium resolution version of the object, which the player won't be able to tell when the swap happens, as long as you are pretty good at building LODs. And if the player can't tell, you can have a lower resolution version, which helps the game to run at a faster frame rate. It helps keep memory consumption low, helps out the GPU, and just makes the game a much better experience for your audience. So depending on how aggressively you want to optimize your game, that's going to determine how many LODs you use. Also, different game engines support different numbers of LODs. In this case, I'm going to create 3 LODs. So I've already created my medium resolution mesh. Right now I'm creating a very low resolution mesh, which is one that's it's going to be used for very, very far away sight lines from the player camera. So you can see this guy doesn't even have beveled corners anymore. It's just a simple box with only about 12 triangles. And that's going to be LOD 2, which is actually the third version. So if I look at the first one, then the second one, and the third one, you can see how the resolution from the base one, called LOD 0, starts to go down all the way to LOD 2. So to make this work, select all of the LODs in the order of the base mesh first. So you pick the highest resolution first, then the medium, then the low, then just go up to the edit menu and go down to the level of detail and choose group. Maya's automatically going to use default numbers. So you can see as I scroll my Maya viewport back or forwards, the different models actually become hidden or displayed based on how close my camera and my viewport is to the object. See that? When I get really close, there's my high res one. As soon as I start to back away, there's the medium res. If I back away very far away, I'm going to see the low res version. And I can actually adjust these numbers inside of Maya and change the settings. So right now it's using default settings. So if I look at the channel box on the right, we have a distance parameter, which is locked right now. And you can see as I move the camera, the distance parameter changes and updates. There's 2 other parameters just above that, as you can see. One is called threshold 0. The other one is called threshold 1. Okay? Threshold 0 determines when the second LOD is going to kick in. I know that may not make a lot of sense because threshold has the number 0 and the second LOD is the second one, but just try to bear with me here. What you can do is you can set a number, a distance number from the camera for threshold 0, and then set another number further away from the camera for threshold 1, which is when the third LOD is going to kick in. So now you can see that my medium resolution mesh kicks in a little bit later and the low resolution mesh kicks in when I'm further away from the object with the perspective viewport camera inside of Maya. So you have a lot of control over how these LODs kick in. So once you have your settings and all that stuff, and you're happy with it, we can actually export this stuff out to Unreal, and Unreal will bring in all of these LODs. It'll bring it in with the settings that you chose for the threshold and all that good stuff.